बस स्टार्ट करो।
Okay. Hi guys. Hope you all are safe and sound in this time of pandemic. Using your time wisely and not letting the time run away. I, Darsh Kejriwal, Tech Head of Cyber Crew, along with Shaurya, Creative Head of Cyber Crew, will be the moderators for today's session. This webinar will not only increase your knowledge and enhance your skills regarding Photoshop, but will also motivate you towards pursuing digital designing as one of your career options. Now let's welcome our presenters Rahul Sharma, President of CyberCrew, and Arnav Verma, Creative Head of CyberCrew, to continue with the webinar. In case you have any doubt, you can always ask your query in the Q&A section and we will surely try to resolve it. Hope you find this session interesting and super informative. So let's get started.
Let's wait for 5 minutes for a few more attendees to join, and then we can proceed.
Rahul, would you like to share something about how you joined CyberCrew and currently in this session you are the president?
When I was, I guess, in class 7th or 8th, I see Kautuk and Shubhang and Naman also, Naman Vats, moving around with cameras. I was just like, can I please join you? I just also like this all creative stuff and working with you. From that time only, I just want to be the president and be the part of the team and working with the group. It's really a pleasure to be here right now.
Oh, that's great.
Guys, we are also having queries that how can you join Cybercrew. After our webinar series, all the sessions, we will be revealing our forms. Then we will be relieving our teams also. You can just fill the form and be the part of the team if you get selected.
Rahul, I think now it's good to go so we can continue.
Yes, okay, let's start now. Let's have a quick introduction again. Hi everyone, my name is Rahul Sharma, along with my partner Arnav Verma, are here to conduct today's webinar on digital designing using Adobe Photoshop. Photoshop is the base in the world of digital designing. Using Adobe Photoshop, you can create company logos, digital art, banners, and in fact, you can restore old images. And if you develop your skills, you can even become a great UX designer at a great company. Even the posts you can see on Cybergrew socials like FB and Insta page are also made using Photoshop only. In today's webinar, we will discuss about the tools in Photoshop, how can you change the background of the images, how you can design a great company logo using Photoshop, how to just combine many images and make a great composition out of it. We will also discuss about the adjustment panel in Photoshop, and a lot more is coming ahead. So stay tuned. First, let's talk about the system requirements we need to run Photoshop. For running Photoshop, we need a minimum of 2 GHz of processor, operating system of Windows 7 or 10, minimum of 4 GB of RAM, 300 MB of space available on your hard disk, and a screen resolution of 1024 by 768. Adobe is the major contributor in the field of digital designing. So let us see what you all know about the Adobe package. Let's see how many of you can name all of these logos. You can write the answers in the comment section. Like first is written over PS over here, using PS colon then the name of the software. I would request Arnav to give some hints of the few of the softwares.
The PS, the one with PS actually is used to edit photos and enhance or retouch your photos. The one with AI is used to make vector illustrations, and DW actually is used to create websites, the backend and front end. The PR is used to edit videos, AE to add effects to your videos, and this it's all this package of Adobe.
Darsh, can you please check if they are writing the answers or not?
I think many have guessed the first one.
Okay, that's great. And others like AI, DW, AU, LR.
Yeah, now I see many answers coming.
Let's give them 1 minute. There might be many softwares over here which would be new to them, but they will use them later on. Adobe has like actually software for everything you want to do. You can do like everything available on your digital designing using Adobe softwares. I guess by now everyone has guessed the answer, so let's check your answers. The first was Photoshop with PS. I guess everyone would have answered that. AI is our Illustrator, ID is our InDesign, InCopy is our IC is our InCopy, MU is our Adobe Muse, FL is our Flash Professional, DW is our Dreamweaver, AN is our Edge Animate, Adobe Premiere Pro over here, A is our After Effects, Adobe Audition is our AU, SG is SpeedGrade, Prelude is our PL, EN is Encore, LR is Lightroom, and this is the base Adobe Acrobat used for reading PDF and all.
It's nice to see that many of them have written correct answers. Rahul, there is one query. Webavi is asking that when
Yes.
she tried to install Photoshop, it is showing her to write her ID and password. So what can she do for that?
Actually, Adobe is a paid, Photoshop is a paid software. Right now, we will share a link for the Photoshop also in the chat box. I will like you to share the link. By that time, there are many online editing softwares also available, which she can use right now. One is Photopea. I would like you to thus share the link in the chat box so that the people who are not having Photoshop can use that right now.
Okay.
I guess this will help her. Before moving forward, let's discuss about the toolbar in Photoshop. First is our marquee tool. It is the most basic tool used for selecting rectangular and elliptical selections. And by using move tool, you can just click on it and just drag it around. Lasso tool is also used widely. It gives you the ability to create selection freehand. In spite that marquee tool just have the option in rectangular and elliptical. Lasso tool you can go either ways. Quick selection tool is another way of selecting objects in Photoshop. It selects the pixel based on tone and color, and unlike magic wand tool, it is used as brush for selection by simply pointing other areas. Magic wand tool is just like you can click and it will select the pixels around it. By using quick selection tool, you can also use it like brush, like what else part other than it you want to select. Crop tool is basically used to crop our images, and using eyedropper tool you can have any color from the image on your color palette. By using brush tool you can just scribble, and by using eraser tool you can just simply erase your mistakes. By using gradient and bucket tool you can fill your objects with any color you want using paint bucket tool, and by using gradient tool you can create a gradient on your backgrounds. Blur tool is simply used to blur sharpen tool sharpens, and smudge tool mixes two colors evenly. What dodge tool does here is it brightens your object where you use it, and burn tool just vice versa of it. It darkens it. Pen tool is used to create a particular path in your object, which can be curved also. It can be any shape. It is very impressive tool. We will discuss about it later. The path can be selected later on also using the path and direct selection. Text tool is used for the text editing and all. Here is our shape tool. Shape tool is used to create shapes. By using hand tool, you can simply uh, move around your workspace, and using zoom tool you can just zoom into your workspace. I will just here launch my Adobe Photoshop screen.
By the time Rahul is setting up his workspace, we'll see if there is any query regarding the Photoshop tools. I know that there's a lot of them, but they will become handy to you after you use Photoshop, usually.
Are we having any queries regarding tools?
Not for now.
Here is your Adobe Photoshop screen. By going to File and press on New, you can create your workspace. Wait, it's loading. When you will press the New option, a dialog box will appear over here. Actually, these are my recent presets of my workspace. You can see 1920 pixel by 1080 pixels, 864 pixels by 720. There are many presets also. Like over here, I have 7 by 5 inches, and I also have options for A4, A3, A5, A6. Right now, I will go for my default preset, which is like 1920 pixels. I have also options in inches, centimeters, millimeters, points. We can use them according to our need. With a height of 1080 pixels, I will choose. Orientation in landscape and portrait is available over here, and resolution of 300 pixels per inch. Color mode is RGB I will be using, and with a white background. After you press create, your artboard will be created. Wait a second, it's loading.
Rahul, there is one query. In Dodge, Burn and Sponge, what is the use of Sponge tool?
Sponge tool allows you to saturate and desaturate a specific image. It's just like intensifying and removing the color when necessary. I hope it must be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move forward. I will just first show you how to remove a background image. I'm having an image over here. I will just right click on it and open it with my Photoshop. My image will get load over here. Yes, by default, you can see here this is my on the right. I have my layer panel. This is my history panel, and these are my adjustment panel, libraries, learn. You can learn over here something new. Swatches panel, colors, and properties panel. Right now, I want to use my layer panel. By default, there is a lock on my layer. First, I will have to click on my layer lock to unlock it, and then work on it. I will just simply press Ctrl plus to zoom into my image and use quick selection tool to select my object. I have selected over here quick selection tool and press on my object. Here my object is selected. These lines you can see over here. Then I will right click over it, and there are many options over here like deselect, select inverse, feather, select and mask. But I need to use these two right now: layer via copy and layer via cut. Layer via copy, what it does, it creates a separate copy of this image in another layer. And what layer via cut does, it cut the selection from this layer and paste it in another layer. As I want to remove the background from this layer, I will just use layer via cut. And by layer via cut, you can see here my object is sent to another layer, and using the move tool I can just drag it and place it anywhere I want. As I want to remove the background of this clouds and I want to replace it, I will just go to my layer 0, my main layer, and using magic wand tool again, I will just simply click over here and press delete. These black and white checkbox means there is no image over here and it's transparent. I want to now replace it. By using lasso tool, you can somewhere just for fine adjustment, you can zoom into it and delete some white spots left over here as it's not completely accurate. I'll just delete some white over here. I guess it's okay right now. I will zoom out. And now I will place the image over here with which I want to replace. I'll go to my desktop, drag my image in my Photoshop file, and here you can see I have my image over here. The image is in another layer.
Rahul, that means layers play an important role in Photoshop. Can you explain us more about it?
Yes, layers you can consider actually as transparent sheets stacked over each other, and our workspace is the top view of our layers. The layer 1 of the object is at the top, so I can see it at the top. You can see if I bring it downward, wait, if I bring it downward, it will be sent at the back, but I want it at the front, so I will just make it the top layer. And I want this my sky background to be at the back, so I will just drag it down, and by using move tool I can just adjust it where I want it. You can see I have easily replaced my background.
Rahul, it would be very nice if you show them some tools by working on them practically.
Okay.
Many of them are asking that they
Yes,
have a
yes.
confusion.
We will be using more tools later on also. I will show you some tools. Move tool, I have used it. I'm having my marquee tool over here. I will be using it in this layer. By using marquee tool, you can just simply select one section, and using move tool, you can move it. Great. By using move tool, I can simply move it. Press Ctrl Z. By using lasso tool, I just used it. It will give me a freehand ability. I can make a close curve, and by using move tool, I can do it. Magic wand tool I showed you all. Crop tool, using crop tool you can crop it by pressing enter. This happened. Ctrl Z. This is by using this tool I can change my perspective. Actually this is the frame tool. Actually using frame tool I have created a frame over here. You can see it will be more visible. See these lines. By using eyedropper tool I can have the color. You can see in the color palette. Now I have these brown. The color palette will have the color where I take my eyedropper. Red eye tool is over here. It is used in restoring the images which are having red eye. Using red eye occurs when using the camera shutter sometimes. We will be discussing stamp tool later on. Eraser tool, bucket tool let's discuss right now. This is my rectangle tool. I will create a rectangle over here. And using the bucket tool I can simply color it. I will re-rasterize the shape and just color it. See, I simply just colored it. Control Z. By using blur tool, you can blur the objects. Just zoom in. Blur tool is basically for finer adjustment. I think this must not be visible. See, it's quite a blur happening over here in the stars actually. Using the sharpen tool, I can sharpen it. I guess the tools must be clear. The rest of the tools will be discussing later on. We will be working on it. Now I would like to request Arnav to show us some cool font effects now. Arnav, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Rahul. Darsh, are there any queries so far?
Yeah, Rahul, can you tell them how do they cut the image and then add into another image?
Yeah, we will
We will be discussing later on. Please wait for a while.
Okay.
Okay, so now I will show you all how you can use text tool and other tools to create logos and photo manipulations or make compositions in Photoshop. Okay, so first we will use text tool, which is here in tools panel below the pen tool. This is pen tool, this is text tool here. This has a T on its icon. T obviously means text. This is similar to the text tool you have used in PowerPoint. Select it on your workspace, click and drag to make a text box. You can type anything on it. I will just type my initials, AV. Okay. You can select it and change the font from this option here. You can choose it to be vertical or horizontal. I like it horizontal, so let's go with it. Okay. You can change the font of it. I like this quantum font. Okay. You can toggle the size of it from this slider here. There are some presets for size. I like this much. Okay. You can change the alignment here and the color. It's needed black. Okay. Click this option here. Mark. So now we have this text. Now use move tool. Select this layer to move it to the center. Okay. Now convert this. Oh, we have got this error. This is because we have not selected any layer as of now. To work in Photoshop, you have to select a layer to work. If you want to work with. Okay. So we have not selected any layer right now. Okay. So I've got this error. Click OK. Select this layer. Now position it. Okay. Now convert this. This is currently text layer. Okay. Convert this text layer into an image layer. To do that, select the layer, right click, and then in this group there's rasterize type. Rasterize it and it will be an image layer. You see? You can just move it around if you want to, or resize it. To resize, press Ctrl T and drag these points. Or you can hold Alt or Option if you are on Mac. Hold Alt. Just drag it to adjust it from the center. I like this much or this. Okay. Okay. Now I want to add a kind of like circle or ring around this. So to do that, let's select this option tool here, ellipse tool. It must be, it's under this direct selection tool. If you can't see it, it must be hidden under this rectangle tool. To expand this option, you can right click on this tool bar. It will expand like this. Okay. Now select ellipse tool and create a circle. To get a perfect circle, hold shift and drag. Okay. And drag. So there's this properties window open here. You can change the width of it from here or height from here and position it from X and Y on this X and Y axis. Under the shape details options, you have this this option. This is fill. What fill does is it's actually color filled inside the circle. Right now it is black. I can change it to yellow or any color I want. There are different presets there. I want to change it to none, so click this option, the one with strike, red strike on it. This means none. This option here is for stroke. Stroke is a boundary of this circle. You can see this boundary, this outline. This is stroke. You can change it to gradient or a pattern or none. Let's keep it to fill stroke. You can change the thickness of the stroke from this slider. You can double tap and enter a value you want. Let's go with 10 pixels here. Okay. Cancel it, cross it. It will just make selection of confirmation. You can move it around. Now this is a shape layer. Convert the shape layer into an image layer to work with it. Okay, so select the layer, right click and rasterize layer. Okay, so this is one image layer, and this is these both are image layer now. This is for text, this is for shape. We can double click on the layer to rename it. I will just rename it to the ring. Double tap, click on this here. Text. Now I want to merge these two layers. Okay, so hold Control and click on these two layers. Again, hold Control key on keyboard and click on these two layers. Right click, and from this group select Merge Layers. It will convert two separate layers into one single layer. Okay, so select this layer. You can move it around or again resize it from Control T. This, which is good. Position it to center. Now, okay, so now I want to add an image over to this layer. Already some textures to this. Let's just first add textures to this. Okay, so you can zoom in by holding Alt and just toggling scroll wheel on a mouse if you're on desktop, or you can use Control plus or Control minus to zoom in, zoom out. Okay, you can press space bar, hold space bar and move around. Left click. So I want to add textures to this layer, this image. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. To add textures, you need to have layer styles panel. Okay, so select this layer and there. Okay, double click on the icon of this layer to open a layer styles panel. Okay, so double click and there it is. Bevel and emboss is used to add depth to the layer. Okay, and add depth and increase the size of it. You can see there's this texture here. You can soften it or size it up or scale it down like this much. Okay, you can even add shadows to this. Select drop shadows from here and move your shadow here. You can choose the opacity of the shadow. Opacity is nothing as the visibility of your layer. If it's 0, it's not visible. If it's 100, it's completely visible. And anywhere between, it's, you can see like this much. You change the angle and distance and spread or size of shadow. I think this much size is fine. Let's position it correctly. Okay, click OK, and we have added this effects. You can see depth effects. Now I can add an image over to this. Just select an image, drag it up to the.
May I pause you for a bit to welcome our honorable principal cum director ma'am, vice principal ma'am, headmistress ma'am, and other respected teachers. We welcome you to today's webinar on digital designing. Hope you will enjoy it, ma'am. I also wish our attendees would be enjoying the session. You can put a thumbs up if you are doing so.
Okay, so now I have dragged the image into the Photoshop. Now it's like this. Press enter. You can even resize this image. Press Ctrl T and drag from the points here like this much, and rotate it from this here to rotate it precisely. Hold Shift and rotate it. Now I want to add this image onto this layer. Okay, so to do that, I will add a clipping mask. Clipping mask is nothing but just a stencil. You can think of like this is a paper, and I will cut out just this part and place it below this layer. Okay, so by the way, guys, you can hide or unhide layer from this eye icon. If it's showing an eye, means it's visible. If it's blank, means it's hidden. You can hide or unhide. Okay, so to add a clipping mask, there are different ways. The most easiest one is hold Alt key or Option key if you're on Mac. Hold Alt and position a pointer between over the line. It separates these two layers, this ring layer and this wallpaper layer. There's a line between them. You can see. Hold Alt, position a pointer here till you see this icon here, and left click. See, we have created this effect here. You can move it and make it more precise if you want to. See, we create this amazing logo. I think the background is pretty simple, so I can change the background. Or let's just first group these two layers so we can work easily. So how do you group these layers? Hold Control, select these two layers, and then there's an option here in this sub menu here, this folder icon. You can click that or press Control G. So double click on the group to rename it. I will rename it to logo. Okay, now in the background layer you can see there's a lock, which means I cannot edit this directly. First I have to unlock this. Okay, click on the lock to unlock this layer. Then I want to add kind of like a gradient to this, or something like a noisy gradient or color. Let's do that. Okay. So in the submenu, there's an adjustment layer option here. This circle with half filled circle. This is adjustment layer options. Okay. Click on that. There's this option called gradient. Click on that, and it opens up this window. You can choose between different presets here. See, you can choose solid or noise. Hit OK. You can choose between linear, radial. Radial is just circles, and reflected or diamond. Diamond is just radial, but it has vertexes. Okay. So I'll go with radiant, and you can scale it up or scale it down. Okay, so now decrease the opacity if you think it's too much. So this option here, opacity, you can see. Click on this and move the slider and place it somewhere around here. I guess 12% is fine, or 18, 22%. This looks good. So we have to read this logo here. You can save it. To export this logo. Okay, so this is really important, guys. Exporting photos in Photoshop. Many of you just go and save as the image, click save as, but this is not the correct way to do that. You have to go to files and export. Okay, click export as, and okay, here select different formats like PNG, JPG, GIF, SVG. SVG you can, it's like vector art, you can use with web development. Oops, sorry. It's used in web development, SVG format. Okay, so you can change. Okay, export all. Select the location, desktop. Save. Okay, so this is the correct way how you export an image. Okay.
Wow, Arnav, that looks really creative.
Okay. So over to Rahul now. He will explain you how can you use clone stamp tool. Okay, Rahul.
Yes, we are having many queries regarding the Photoshop tools. If you guys are not getting tools, you can simply ask me which tool you want me to explain. I will just simply take one image over here which is having a watermark. I will simply open it with Photoshop. See over here I am having a watermark of Getty Images and some random text here. First, as you all know, we have to unlock our layer to work on it, and in the history panel you can also see I have made the layer by unlocking it. Every work you are doing on your workspace is getting recording in the history panel, so you can undo it anytime. By clicking on open C, which is above, I have just locked the layer again, which is a step backward. I will just unlock it by clicking on the make layer again. I will use the clone stamping tool. Here is my clone stamping tool. Clone stamping tool just alters, or you can say by pressing Alt, you can select which area you have to copy. I'm pressing Alt right now, which is making this icon right now the target option which I want to copy. Then by releasing and selecting the target which you want to copy, and this will work as your brush, you can simply copy the area which you want to. By being more precise and with more accuracy, you can easily remove the watermark or any other stuff you don't want in your image. It's really used for fine detailing of an image by zooming into the image. Quickly do it. What it is doing is it is just copying my target over here. If you guys are having any queries regarding any other Photoshop tool, you can just simply write in the chat box. I'll just explain it right now to you.
Rahul, can you tell us more about the extensions of Photoshop?
Extensions, wait. Adobe Photoshop extension is .psg, which is Photoshop. While saving, while saving the image, I am having many extensions available. I will show you it. You can see here I have removed the watermark, and you can be more precise and more accurate while doing it. Here I am having a file save as. Here I am having many file extensions, save as type, .psb, bmp, psg, and pcx, psg, pdf, png. I can save it in any format I want to by clicking on save as type. There are many extensions available over here. I will go for png and press it. I think it must be quite clear to all. Any other query regarding any tool?
Yeah, one is asking, please tell which keys are to be clicked while removing watermark.
While removing watermark, you have to just simply, I will do it once again over here. Okay. I simply go to this clone stamp tool. I will press Alt and then just click which I want to copy and then release. I will just left click on it and then release my Alt key. Then this will act as my brush, and the sign you can see, the plus sign is acting my target which I want to copy, and by just brushing it and stroking over here, I can simply remove the watermark. I think I was clear again. Any other tool?
How can we create a portrait using select pixels and lens blur option?
Wait, Arnav will show you that. We have planned it ahead. Any other tool?
I don't think that we have any other query.
Great. This must be clear because tools are really necessary while working on Adobe Photoshop. Arnav, now it's up to you. You can show them how to make great compositions using Adobe Photoshop.
Okay, thank you, Rahul. Darsh, any queries apart from this?
Not for now, but I'm very surprised to see the engagement of all you guys, and your queries show that you are understanding them well. Thank you for your support. Arnav, now I would like to continue with the session.
Okay, so Now I will show you how you can make compositions in Photoshop, like selecting multiple images and blending them into one image. Okay, so I have these three images selected here, open here, this clouds, this boat here, and the stars. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this boat out and place it here in cloud, so it looks like it's floating in the clouds, and change the background of this sky. Okay. I'm gonna change the sky and remove this, and I will place stars. Okay, so let's start. First, in this boat image, first make a copy of the background. It's always important to make a copy of the background so you can come back later and do any change if you wanted. And so hide this, and on the copy, you can use pen tool or quick selection tool. Quick selection tool is just not precise. You can see it's not that handy, or I would say it's not precise. You can use pen tool. Yeah, you can use pen tool. So the way pen tool works is first you path around this, around the outlines of this image, then you make a selection, then you can cut it out. Okay, so how do you use pen tool first? You can click around to make paths, complete the path. Okay, you can save it the path or delete it if you want to. Then you can make you can click and drag to make curves. Okay, click and drag to make curves. Then this has this handles option here. This has this handles here. Hold Alt to this back handle. You can adjust the back handle, and the front handle you can hold Alt and make it disappear or even smaller. Okay. So I'll be sharing links of some videos you can refer to learn pen tool even deeply. So let's start. First, start from this point. Click here, then make a curved path around this board. Okay. So click here and drag. Okay. You can see there's this path. It retraces the curve of this board. Zoom in and click here and drag. It's not good here. You can see. So decrease the size of this handle, make it smaller. Now drag. Okay. Click and drag again. Pen tool is most widely used tool in Photoshop if you're making compositions or any other things. Pen tool is the most precise one if you're making selections. Okay. Zoom in and drag. Again. Okay. Just make selection. Okay. Now make the path. Now mask this. Okay. There's this option called mask. So what mask does actually, you can think mask as like a layer, like a real mask. You wear a mask on a face to like hide some parts of face, and there's holes for eyes and nose. Okay, so you can think of this mask. It's a similar. Okay, so the black parts here are actually hidden, and the white parts are transparent. So you can drag this into this document. You can Control T to resize this. Any queries so far about pen tool or either?
One is asking, can he use Photoshop 7.0 version?
Yeah, you can use Photoshop 7.0 version. It's better to have a latest version because of the functions and other things. But you can use 7.0 version. Okay.
Many of them are finding Photoshop difficult to use. So, do you have something to say to them?
Photoshop is not difficult actually when you get used to it. It's all about practice. Everyone finds everything difficult when they're just beginners. It's a normal thing. Okay.
Thank you, Arnav.
Now, I want to make an effect like these clouds are flowing into this the boat. So select brush tool and click on the mask and as a foreground color black. Okay, the mask works in white and black colors only. Okay, so it works in grayscale only. Select black as a foreground color. Uh, Foreground color is the one which is seen front. You can see here palette. You can press X on a keyboard to switch between foreground and background colors, or you can click on this icon here, the arrow icon to switch. Select the mask and paint it here. Okay. Again, select the mask, hold a soft brush, use brush tool, use a soft brush, and change brush from this brush panel. And select a soft brush and right click to change the size of the brush. Okay, you can change size. Now you can also hold Alt key and right click, hold right click key to drag to resize it. Okay, now mask selected, you can make an effect like its clouds are flowing into the board, something like this. Okay. From here, make sure there are no harsh edges left. Okay. Okay. If there's a contrasting transition, there should be no harsh edges, else it would look, it would not look nice. Okay. Okay. This looks good. What do you think, Rahul?
Yes, it's great. Actually, I'm having one thing. Can you please later on show them how to use the frame tool?
Frame tool.
Yes,
This is
after
to
this
make
composition, you can show them.
Okay. So I've made this boat just like it's floating in the clouds. Now I have to change this background. I have to cut out this sky. Okay. So first in the background layer, unlock this layer. Okay. Then use pen tool, and you can either use quick selection, but it's not effective here because you can see there's a lot of whites and yeah, it's just not gonna work. So use pen tool, create a selection here like this. It's not really important to have a precise because we will edit it later. Make a path, complete the path with the pen tool. Just clicks, then right click and make selection. Okay, make selection, feather radius 0. Hit OK. We create this selection. Now mask it. Okay, so we have done something wrong. We have actually selected the wrong path. So it has inverted the mask. So to invert the mask, okay, so invert the colors in the mask. Select the mask and press Ctrl I. Okay, again select the mask and press Ctrl I. So we have this. Now with the mask selected, use a soft brush on the brush tool here. Okay. Click right click to adjust the size of the brush. Now refine the edges. Okay, like this. Find those edges in the mask only. Okay. make sure to use in the mask because it will just create blacks in the photo if you use in a photo. Select the mask and only and use. Okay. Define the edges like this and they're good to go. Okay. Now this black and white, gray and white pixels you see here, these are just transparent as Rahul have told you earlier. So we have to add an image behind this layer. Okay, so to do that, select this. I've already opened it here. Use move tool. First unlock this layer. Use move tool. Move it in the document you are working on. Drag it here and place it here. You can resize it. Press Ctrl T. Resize it. This much size is good. And see that this layer is above the clouds layer, so it's showing like this. Place it below the clouds layer, background layer. Okay, so we have this effect now. You can even refine edges even more if you think there are any harsh edges left. Okay.
Wow, Arnav. I would really like to acknowledge you for this. It looks marvelous. If you guys are enjoying this, then please write in the chat hashtag CyberCrewOP. That would really mean to us a lot.
Alright, so now we have to make blend these images. Okay, so to make blend, we have to make adjustments in this. So this is adjustments panel. You have different options here like brightness and contrast and vibrance, saturation, color balance. These are really important if you are making manipulations or composites. You have to blend these images, the lights and darks have to blend these. Okay, so first let's just select the board and let's decrease the brightness of this first. Select this option here to make adjustment just to the board layer. Okay, select this. If I don't select it, it will just affect the whole image. If I select it, it's gonna affect the board. You can see. So decrease the brightness a little bit, seeing this, and increase the contrast. Brightness, what brightness does is it adds highlights and shadows. It plays with the tonal range of the photo in the grayscale. Contrast, what it does is it increases. If you increase the contrast, it will increase the light areas even more and decrease the dark areas even more. What I mean by that is the light, the brighter areas will brighten and the darken areas will darken even more. Okay, so if you increase this, you can see this is good. Then you can select vibrance and saturation, increase the vibrance. This will improve the sharpness of the colors and saturation, brightness of the colors. You can see if you decrease this, be sure to select this option to make just the bold layer. Okay, increase the saturation, it will increase the brightness of the colors, each color. I like this much, I think. Yeah, now hit okay. Now I will make adjustments to the cloud layer. Okay, cloud, you can add a little bit brightness to this. Select this option here to make adjustments just to the clouds. Increase brightness. No, I don't think it will be good if we increase brightness. I think this much is good to decrease contrast. No, this is good. Now the stars layers, I think it's fine. We don't need any adjustments to that. We can group all of these layers. You can group all of these layers if you want to. Click and hold Control key and click on these layers and Control G. Control G. Okay. So create a new layer to make an adjustment to the whole image, like brightness. We increase it a little bit for contrast, yeah, and add some vibrance to the image. Decrease the saturation or increase, I think decrease. Add a color balance to this. These are just playing with the colors, okay? So you will learn it later if you are continuing in Photoshop. It's kind of like let's see.
Arnav, can you please explain about vibrance and saturations?
You can see vibrance as the brightness of or sharpness of colors. Okay. Just a minute. If I increase vibrance, you will see it's increasing brightness and contrast of this color. It will increase the contrast of the colors only. Okay. Saturation decreases the brightness of these colors. Okay. It will go into the black and white. And if I increase, it will, you can see difference. Okay. This is the brightness of the colors. Now, I think we are done now, or we can just add a little more adjustment to this. Photo filter, we can add a filter, like a warming filter or a cooling filter. I think warm is good. You can decrease the density of it. And there's a slider for opacity. I've already told about this. Again, you can select this and decrease the slider to make it less visible. Okay. So here we have this composition. I think we're done now. Okay. We can save it. Again, export as. Now, save as JPG. And, export all. Desktop and save. Okay. So we are done now. Okay, over to you, Rahul. Now.
So Rahul, if one becomes good at Photoshop, he can become a photo editor by just learning Photoshop. I mean to say that can he just be paid for it?
Actually, there are many things in digital designing. First of all, which is main, is you need a creative mind. It's actually the thing which is coming in your mind, what you have to do with the photographs. After learning advanced Photoshop, you can be paid from someone for your designs also.
Okay.
Till now, we have learned a lot about photo editing and image editing and all. These are some examples of Photoshop also, but we don't recommend this. We don't expect this from you. Now, as we have learned so many things, what we expect from you is something like this. So actually, Darsh, I would like to share a link all of you with all of you. There are 7 images. We want all of you to edit them right now within 15 minutes. By that time, Arnav along with you will also be editing, and the best photograph which you will send to us on our Cybercrew email address, which is written over here, in the next 15 minutes after editing, will be posted on our social FB page. So let's get started. Arnav, Darsh, can you please share them the link?
Yeah, I already did share the link.
You can download those images. I have seen in the comment section we are having queries regarding Photoshop that they are not running it. So you can use the site instead which we posted. Arnav, would you please like to share your screen and work along with them?
Yeah, sure.
There are 7 images over there. You can make a great composition out of it. So let's just show your creativity and let's do it.
If you have Photoshop, you can just work along with this the side screen. And close these documents. I don't need it anymore. Close. I will open these photos now. So I have these 5 photos. You must be having them in the link. Let's see what we can do with this. So there's a mountain here and road. Okay. Your, let's import them in Photoshop first. Okay, so
Rahul, they are asking, do they have to merge all the 7 pics in one?
It's not necessary. Minimum you can do 4. 4 will be great, I guess. We are having time till 12:15. You can send them, or 12:20. You can send till 12:20. The best pick we will be posting on our Cybercrew Facebook handle.
Rahul, many of them are asking that they want to be a part of our CC team.
Yes, I have declared earlier also. We will be publishing a form. You can just fill that, and if you guys get selected, you can be the part of our CC team. We will be revealing our elite team also soon. You can be the part of it.
Rahul, can you share the mail ID to which they
Yeah.
will be sending their projects?
Yes, I am just publishing. You can publish it also, Darsh, in the Q&A section, cybercrew@ghaziabad.japuriaschools.com.
I will be doing it.
So let's see what we can do here. I have this balloon, mountain, and clouds, these images. I can remove this background here, white sky, and add like clouds like this, or maybe aurora. Let's see what I can do here. First, mask this and paint out some of the parts here. The soft brush and black as foreground color. Paint some of these parts here. It's not really important to have you know, all of them. Then go to mountains. Remove the background from here. You can use a magic wand tool here. Select. Now after the selection, you can mask it. You can invert the mask and refine the edges, but I don't want that. So take this layer, the mountains. Okay. You can resize it. And place this layer bit below the mountains layer. So you see this effect. Now, what we do is cut out this balloon from this image and place it in this mountains image. Use a pen tool or a quick selection tool would work, I guess. We can define the edges later. You can change the brush size of quick selection tool. Even just select the balloon here. Select brush size and select minus per brush here. Will decrease the selection. Find it later if you want to. Or you can use pen tool if you want to be like precise with the selection. With this, see how precise pen tool actually is. Select the layer, balloon, sorry.
It's completely your own imagination, guys. You don't have to exactly do what Arnav is doing. You can create something new out of the images which Arnav is not taking. With the aurora, the beautiful auroras I gave you, with the mountains I gave you, you can make just like anything out of them.
And you can mask this. Move this into this layer. Control T to resize it. Okay. Now we have to blend in these, blend all of this. Okay, you can see this clouds doesn't look good here. So I will remove it from here. Use brush tool. You can use hard brush or a soft brush tool. It's up to you. For this, foreground color is black. So paint it out. Okay. In the edges even more, select white as foreground color. You can repaint it on it back like this. I will just remove it completely. I don't think it looks good here.
Rahul, have we got any mail till now?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm just waiting for them only. Guys, I also have to make one announcement. You have to join the session with your real name only, or else you will be removed. You are having many anonymous over the chat box. I think it would be cool.
You can change the color of this by putting color balance or hue and saturation. You can use hue to change color. Somewhat like this. Other layer and paint it and make a clipping mask on this. So push eyedropper tool to select a color like this and paint it on another layer like this, and decrease its opacity. Change it to overlay. Opacity. Just blend it in here.
Arnav, I was seeing in the chat box, many people were facing problem in mask. It would be great if you can explain them once again.
Okay, so you can think of mask as a real mask. What a real mask does, you build over a face, and it covers whole the face, except the parts like eyes and nose. It has holes for the eyes and nose. Similarly, this mask, the black part, it's actually covering the this layer. Okay, the white part, you can think of them as holes for your important for your essentials. Okay, so select the you can mask any layer by click on the layer and select mask from this option here. Okay, now select brush tool, and on the mask works in only two colors, black and white, or just in gray scale. Okay, in the tones of black and white. So select the mask and choose the foreground color is black and paint it if you want to remove something, or paint it white if you want to bring back something. It's just this way. You can change the brushes from brush panel here, or you can edit it around. You can use eraser tool if you don't like mask, or you can use delete and mask. This is the same way. Mask is better than eraser and deleting the background if you want them back later. Okay, select it. I don't think the balloon looks good here. I'm going to delete it. Okay. Let's see if this airplane looks good over there. I use magic wand to remove this color, and simply press delete to remove the background, or use eraser tool here, or you can mask. They're all just the same. Mask gives you the ability to bring back those erased objects with erased parts. Okay. You can use eraser. You can just use mask. Invert the mask here. You can see I've accidentally magic wand tool is not extremely precise. It selects the color in the same range of the color. Okay. So it removes this some parts of this plane. Okay. So using mask, as I'm using mask, I can bring back those colors by using brush tool and painting it white. See, white means you want to show those parts. Okay. So let's paint it. The font is not precise.
Last 5 minutes, guys. I think you must be done by now. You have another 5 minutes.
Just carefully onto this document and with this
Now they must have realized the importance of mask tool in Photoshop.
It's always better to use mask tool instead of eraser or deleting the background. Uh, it's a little bit complicated, but it's easy and it's very useful. So you can refer to some videos on YouTube. I will share the link right now. Here's the link of those videos.
Wow, Arnav, that looks real splendid.
You can make adjustments to the this plane image, airplane image. Decrease the brightness. This much should work. Increase the contrast. See. It's important to go with the theme of the image. Okay. The background, you can see this aurora, it's dark. So you have to make all of these images go with a theme or make some of them contrasting. Okay. I will just go with the dark theme. So make this theme. You can add another layer and paint on it and make a clipping mask over the clipping mask onto this plane image. And group these images and rename them in this airplane. Now on this layer you can make adjustments and then decrease opacity. How you work with this. Increase the opacity of it. Something like this. Or change it to overlay. Change more of it. This here.
Many of them has already sent, guys, so please do hurry. Last 2 minutes remaining.
You can make adjustments in the this mountains image. Increase the brightness I guess. Or increase the contrast. This is good, I think. Yeah. Maybe even darker or light. Let's decrease the saturation of this. Yeah, this looks good. Adjust the brightness of the image. This is fine. Okay, so these are just simple composites you can make in less time. Basics. You can go for even much complexer composites when you're using Photoshop in the handy this. Just beginners level composites you can see. Adjustments and cutting out photos, placing into another photos. It's pretty easy. Sure, you all must have got it clear. Got it. Use masks on the adjustments layer. Let's use brush and there's a mask option here. And remove the brightness from the areas you do not want. Do that. This looks fine. This looks good now. Darsh, are there any queries? Anything?
No, there are no queries, but most of them have mailed their project
Yes, I have
to me,
received many
right?
projects. I will like to share two of them actually right now. Wait a second. Arnav, can I please share my screen right now?
Yes, sure.
Arnav, you did a fantastic job by combining these images, and I hope
Thanks.
that the students have learned a lot from it.
Actually, the thing is time period also, how much you can do in the given time. Here I am having two images. I would like to show you one. This look actually fascinating, only how you took the clouds from another image and replaced them here and use the mountain and the starred sky, and how you put the hot air balloon over here. You can also be more accurate by just removing these white spots. These are the little things which we have to focus on in Photoshop. Yes, but that was excellent work in the given period of time. Another I would like to show this. This was actually a clean and neat work of the selection tools in this image. Yes, it can be also more accurate over here. But yes, these both projects look really amazing right now. You can contact us personally anytime in the given email IDs, and you can also share if you anything you make on our you can share us personally also or on our cybergrow at the rate gazibad.jaburiaschools.com, and you can send if you edit this image later on by 3 o'clock. You can send them by 3 o'clock also. We will be uploading them nearly at 4. We will be selecting the best out of them.
Okay, so thank you, Rahul and Arnav, for explaining such an interesting topic. I'm pretty sure that the students found it interesting. Thank you, students, for enthusiastic participation in the webinar, and we hope to see you in our next webinar on 12th of June on cybersecurity. If you did feel engaged in the webinar, then please mail us your creativity or artwork, and the selected ones will be uploaded on school's social media handles, as mentioned by Rahul. Also, I would like to thank our Honorable Principal Ma'am and the IT department for their timeless support to all our queries, and also our moderator Shaurya for promptly answering all our queries in the Q&A section. For any further doubts regarding the webinar, feel free to contact us on the email ID in the chat box that we have sent. We are invariably willing to answer all your doubts. And do not forget to fill the feedback form. We are looking forward to all the suggestions and improvement and remarks. Now I would like to request Rahul and Arnav to turn their cameras on so that the audience can see who the faces behind the voice.
Is my camera working right, I guess?
Yeah. Once again, thank you Rahul and Arnav for teaching
Thank you,
us
Darsh.
a lot about Photoshop today.
It was
Yeah,
actually a
the
pleasure to
feedback
work
form
with
link
all.
also has been published. You can fill the form. So with that, I would like to conclude our today's session. Be happy, be safe.
Thank you all.